Today is a complete tutorial on SellerAmp, from the settings to how to source with it and how to actually use the tools integrated in that little toolbar. So let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. We're in the general settings tab. You got to make sure, obviously, your whole marketplace is going to be on Amazon.ca. In terms of inbound shipping, it varies, okay, depending on where you are in which province. I found an average of 80 cents per kilo perfect. What you got to do is every time you send a shipment in, take the amount of units you have, the amount of kilograms it is divided by the price, and you can start seeing the average per kilogram and you'll find yours. Inbound placement, this is for United States sellers. You could put minimal shipment splits, but this is not going to affect us as a Canadian seller. Now, this is very important here. The VAT section, I've made an accounting video before. If you are not tax registered, you need to take into account the tax. I'll show you how to do that. But in the VAT scheme, no matter what, I want you guys to put not applicable. Not registered, but you need to click not applicable. If you pick not registered, there's going to be an extra 5% that's going to be in your fees, that's being calculated, and you're actually mislooking at your graph, all right? In terms of buying criteria, this is purely visual, guys. It's not that important. If you want to put something absolutely, maximum BSR, 2%. You don't want something that sells slow. Minimum ROI of 30%. That's all I put. But like I said, it's not that important. Now, here's where things get a little bit important, okay? Prep fees. Certainly, if you're using a prep center, this is where you're going to put your average dollar per unit. Most of the time, prep centers are going to be around $1 per unit. Again, for me, I do everything in-house. I'm going to put everything at zero. Everything for me is at zero. But now, listen up. If you collect taxes because you're not tax registered, this is where we're going to put a miscellaneous fee. If you're in Ontario, the number is 13%. Quebec is 15%. Insert whatever province you are, you got to take into account the taxes that you're paying. Now, the minute you get tax registered, this becomes zero everywhere. And that's where ROI starts getting really unlocked. Pretty much done with the general section. Let's go to display. So for display and SaaS panels, there's not much we're going to touch. I thought I'd show it. If you want to go dark mode, this is where you can find it. But I generally have everything at the default here. Same thing with the SaaS panels. You could turn on variations, but I don't find they do a good job at looking at the variations, because in Canada, we look at it differently than the United States. And this is a software built by United States sellers. So if you want to take a look and screenshot what I have, this is what I have that I look at. I'll go look at a Keepa graph right now so we can look at all the tools that are offered by SellerAmp and how to use them. So we're actually not going to take account this product here. We're only looking at the left-hand side here. Yours actually might be on the right. You can change that at the bottom. I like looking at mine on the left so I can have the price, the current buy box on the right side. We have a general view, guys. This is pretty straightforward. Once we put our fees in the back end, I showed you how to put your taxes. That's what we're going to see. And we can see a detailed fee structure right outside this base BSR max cost scheduler by clicking the little calculator. I know I'm not going in order, but these are the things I use the most, because in this little calculator, if you're doing FBM, this is where you can turn on FBA or FBM. What that does is if we open up total fees here, we see that when we put FBA, it takes into account the $7.23 it's going to cost to pick and pack this product. But if we take out FBA, it's completely removing that and also removing the 80 cents per kilogram that it's costing. So now we got to put our average FBM cost. That would be like number 7. This is not an FBM video, right? So we're looking at FBA and we can see a detailed fee structure. So for you, you'll see if you're hitting your miscellaneous fee percentage right here, if it's at 15%. And also if you're doing prep centers, this is also where we're going to add into the miscellaneous fee, $1 per unit or whatever. The next tool I really like is the buy box percentage, because it gives you a nice visual on because you could do this 2 ways. You can go down on the Keepa chart and look how often the seller is being changed, right? And that gives you an idea. Then you can also look at the 30 and 90-day buy box analysis, and it just gives you a good chart on if the buy box is getting shared and by what percentage. We can look at the 30-day, and we can see this is really dominated by like 2 main sellers with a little bit extra. So that could give you a general idea by a look at this little graph here. And then you can see all the sellers that are on. We can keep on scrolling down. In the last place I really look at, we get to see all the sellers that are currently selling And this is where we're going to segue into actually how to source with SellerAmp. We're going to do a little live sourcing session together right now. When we click one of these storefronts, you can see how many reviews they have. And we're going to go after someone that has, like, example, 30 reviews right now. For you, if you're a new seller, I would go after maybe someone with a little bit less, like Red Leaf Supply, who has 7. But for me, I'm ungated in a little bit more products. So I'm going to go look at a seller that has about 30 reviews. I have other videos showing you how to source in different ways, like collecting a seller ID database, which I prefer. So you can go look at the end of this video. I'll link it. But for now, we're going to use SellerAmp to source, which all you need is SellerAmp and Keepa if you truly, really want it. And in the storefront, we have a lot of different products. So we have this guy sells a lot in beauty, in grocery, sports. You can source only by going category. Or if you know you're ungated in a brand, you can look at the center here and you can actually pick yourself a brand from this and only look at that. So if we're looking at The Ordinary, I know I'm gated in The Ordinary, but we're going to see all the products that they have to offer. Sometimes, guys, it does do a little glitch. As you can see, I believe this and this is the exact same listing, but that doesn't matter. We can just ignore that. On the left-hand side, we also have seller ID. This is where we can start collecting seller IDs too really easily and putting this in a Google Sheet. We have the seller name that they can always change, but they can change their seller ID. That's why it's important to track this. I know I'm gated in The Ordinary. I'm not going to waste my time looking at that. Honestly, I don't like looking at top brands unless I'm really targeting one. So let's go look at beauty just because he has the most in there. And again, we're not going to look at the Ordinary products, but we have a few things. I can look on the right-hand side. This is where we have access to that little Keepa chart that I was showing before. So, and we can have a little buttons here, which is open Amazon product page. We can search the product on Walmart. We can search the product using Google Shopping. We can open up Google right away and open up in a new window. The two ones that I use mainly is going to be the Amazon product page and opening up straight up Google. Because if I want to see, I can see already that the max cost for this product is going to be $14.24. Now, I don't know if I'm ungated yet. So how do I see that? I could just click here and it could take a few seconds to load up on the left-hand side if I'm eligible to sell it. I'm not, so it's not worth it to keep going. Right? So I'm just going to keep scrolling down. Charlotte Tilbury, I'm going to click this. I got to see if it's available to sell. I see I am eligible to sell it. So now you can access this little Google button right here, or even on the Amazon page, you can also press the little Google button right here. It's the same thing. We have access to the same exact buttons right here. So if we press Google, you see automatically it's bringing us and showing us the Google page, which we can see on face value. It's $62 at Sephora. You probably need to buy this on sale to actually get it at a profitable price, because right now we need to get it at a minimum of $47. So we're just going to go ahead and skip this and we're going to go look at different type of products. Here we have advanced clinicals, same thing. We click it. We're going to see if we're eligible in a few seconds. We click the Google button, and now we get to see if we get to buy this product. We see that it looks like it's a 2-pack that it was on Amazon, but we're able to buy these products individually for around $13 each. Now, 14 and $13. Now, I know that at iHerb, you can get 20% off most of the time with just a code NEW20. And then, as you can see here with auto ship, we can get it at $11.82 with 12% cash back. You guys probably don't see the Rakuten, but right now there's 12% cash back. So that's huge, right? So if we take it at $11.82 and then $12.98, that's $24.80. If we go back here and we put $24.80, this is a lead that is potentially good. So if we open up the Amazon page and we know we're getting this for $24.80, it's a relatively stable Keepa chart. We can already see that this is probably a pretty good lead to get a little test order in. I mean, the volume is nothing crazy because, again, if we zoom in, like, it's not good to look at December right now. We're in January, guys, right? If we look at the December volume, it's going to be completely realistic. So that's why I'm zooming out to a year and looking at the price action last year. And we can see it drops a few times a month. Now, drops don't necessarily mean sales. It could be a little bit more. But we're going to look and say, listen, it says 17 times per month. We scroll down. There's a few competitive sellers on this. We can do a test order of 5 to 10. This is potentially a good lead if you are ungated in it. Now, guys, if a bunch of people find this video and everybody tries to buy this lead, it might not be a good lead anymore. So just take that in mind. Everything that I'm showing here is available to the public. I'm not going to be buying this lead, but I'm saying at face value, this is a pretty good lead that we saw, and we can find. I didn't do a bunch of research. This does look like the same products. It's a pack of 2 that we would need to combine. And if it's the case, profitable lead that we found pretty quickly only using SellerAmp. But we're not done. Let's do a little bit more sourcing. So let's go back to SellerAmp and we can continue looking at different types of products. So, okay, we're done with beauty. We found one lead already. Let's go look at a different category. I like to sometimes look at sports and outdoors, even if there's only potentially 3 leads. Let's go ahead and open up these leads, talk through the keeper charts, see if they're profitable. This is a variation lead. So let me talk you a little bit through how I look at variations in Canada. If you click variations, we get to see the ratings. Now, the ratings is good, but the thing is it takes into account the United States. So the classic way to say and try to find if the variation is a winning variation, they say to click variation, see the reviews here, and if you take the one with the most. Now, that's not necessarily very good for Canada. What I would suggest to you is probably just click data, click offers, prime, and then you can see if there's like a little downward staircase. If you see downward staircase, like this guy, December 25th, definitely had 8 in stock and sold pretty much all the stock and now replenished. It's a little bit of a better way to look at variations because it's impossible to tell by the keeper chart if this actually does sell. But for now, we're going to assume it does sell a little bit, even though it was only December numbers. And we got to go see if we can find this at a profitable price. Team Town Sports, $12.99 seems to be the same product. I saw another one at $24.99 from the same source. So is there a big difference between these two? One looks like to be skate guards. The other one looks like it's a soaker. We are looking for skate guards. Looks like it's a profitable price at $12.99. Oh no, you see that was the played soakers. So I was wrong here, guys. It's actually $24.99 here. Yeah, guys, unless there's a discount right now, not a profitable lead at $39.99. And if we look at the keeper graph, it's actually prone to going down to $29.99 also. So we're actually at a very high price point considering the historics of this product. So I would stay away from a product like this. This is why we do live sourcing. It's not only about the good products, it's also showing how to find bad products. Even if we got this at a price of $19.99, guys, what happens if the price drops back down to $29.99? We are now not profitable. So this would be a bad lead. Let's go back to SellerAmp, do a little bit more sourcing before we end this video. So guys, we already saw Elite Hockey Pro being unprofitable at $19.99. We're not going to go ahead and click the red version, right? Sourcing is a lot about understanding what not to click. The more we know what not to click, like The Ordinary, like these Elite Hockey Skater guards under $40, the faster you're going to go at sourcing. Let's say I've gone through this whole storefront now and I'm not interested in these leads anymore. Well, let's go back to the lead that I actually purchased. Let's go back to Advanced Clinicals and open that up on Amazon. And let's scroll down using SellerAmp again as a tool. And let's go find another seller that has a good amount of store reviews. Now, I generally don't want to go after people that have a lot of reviews. So I have the choice between a 17, this is already picked, 30, or a 55. So why not let's open both? Click the middle mouse button. It opens it up in another tab. And we're going to open up 2 storefronts now using SellerAmp. So let's go see one of them. So this is the 17 review seller, heavy in beauty. Perfect. We'll go look at the beauty products and see if we can source 1 or 2 more products in this little sourcing session. We see this seller carries Mizon Korean cosmetics. Why I don't like Korean cosmetics is because in Canada, labels need to be in French and in English. So that means that this product could potentially be removed from Amazon. So we got to be careful with this seller. We know that he's willing to take risks. So let's keep scrolling down though and see if we can find something else. I'm looking often at what the max cost of the product is, and I kind of have a visual, and I know my brands because I have experience, but you can start telling yourself too, like, does this product look like it's selling for $22? Honestly, yeah, rosehip oil, why not? Let's see if we're ungated in it, which we're not, which means we just need to skip. We have L'Occitane here, which I know is a very popular brand on Amazon. Max cost of $46. Maybe let's go see, let's open up Google. I'm ungated in it. We can see it's in the $60. Probably a product that you need to buy on sale. You know, Black Friday just ended. Christmas time just ended. A lot of people have things that were on sale. So it's expected to find products that you're like, how the heck are the people buying it at this price? That doesn't mean there's no products to buy. I guarantee we'll be able to find another product today. So let's keep scrolling down. Again, this person has a lot of beauty products, so we could potentially find a couple of different ones. So this is a very slow listing, but we see that there's not a lot of seller buy box history. So if we click it and we're ungated in it, which it looks like we are, we can now maybe investigate here, because when there's not a lot of offers, that's when opportunity arises. It seems like he's the only FBA seller on this, because if we scroll all the way down, we see there's an FBA and an FBM seller. So is he selling this product? Well, probably getting a few sales. This, if we can get at a profitable price, so you can actually see I found it here, $25 for 250 milliliters. If we put that, it's almost exactly the price that it's at exactly 30% ROI. So another product that is low key because it does not sell a lot, but we can see it's because this seller only just started selling it back in November. So maybe it's going to gain a little bit of momentum. We see that historically though, if we back up a year, it has been at a lower price point. JJ Wave is the same seller who was selling it last year. So clearly this product does sell. And your only competition right now would be JJ Wave. Now again, I'm exposing this product to everybody watching this video, but this is a product that you can maybe test 3 to 5 units purchasing it and see if you can get a couple of sales because it's extremely low competition. We're not done. Let's go keep finding at least one more lead. We're back in his storefront. You see, we scrolled halfway through before we found another low-key lead. I'm not saying it's the best, but it was another low-key lead. And sometimes now I feel like this guy is going to have some low-key Shopify brands here. And if I click this, I'm not ungated. We're not going to waste our time anymore. That next time I see Keone like down here, I'm not even going to click it. A lot of The Ordinary. I mean, I know I'm not allowed to sell it. Mizon, L'Occitane. You know what? I'm starting to get tired of this storefront. A lot of leads that I'm not able to sell. Let's just go ahead and skip it. And luckily I opened up another one with 55 reviews and we have a whole nother. Now this guy has a ton of leads to go in through, 280. Now I guarantee I'll be able to go in and find at least one lead here. So I got one more lead to find with you guys in this storefront. But before I do that, I hope you guys really enjoyed everything so far. I'm looking to fill a cohort of 3 people. I already have one, potentially 2 people. So I have one more spot. If you're interested, look in the comments. I have a pin to book a call with me, see if we're a good fit. Let's keep going and finding this last lead. You know, we looked a lot in beauty and he has a lot of products in beauty, but let's switch it up a bit. Let's look at tools and home improvement, see if we can find something in here to give us some profit and our third lead of the video. So Milwaukee is a lead that a lot of people are ungated in. Let's see if we can expose this. We are ungated. Let's open up the Amazon page, see what the keeper chart looks like. Very stable keeper chart. So that means we're going to open up Google, see how much we can buy it for. Now here's the thing with these Milwaukee chainsaws and stuff, you got to really make sure you're looking at the numbers 4839069. So when you go on Google, you might get a ton. So he sees 4839069. Does look like this is the right lead. It looks like it's even on sale right now at $26.09, which is cheaper than I've seen it in the past. So, you know, is it the best lead? It's at 20%, prone to go down to like $38. So, you know what? I wouldn't say this is a good lead, at least at this price, because it is prone to barely giving you any ROI. Now, in the past, we have seen it at a lot higher price point, and we are seeing the amount of offers going down. I would supervise this lead, maybe take the ASIN, put it in a Excel file, because it's not right now ready, but maybe when there's less sellers, the price is going to start going up and it might be a good product to sell. But there's so many more leads. We don't need to be disappointed because that one didn't work out. We can see this one, if we look at the keeper graph, started a lot lower and is actually a lot higher now. Maybe we can get lucky. I love these niche type products because who's going to go and look for it? 586 snap lock people that need it, right? But unfortunately, I'm not eligible, so I talked all that for nothing. Let's keep on looking. We got almost lucky with Milwaukee once. Let's see if we can get lucky with Milwaukee twice. Let's open up the Amazon page. So relatively stable keeper graph. It's at its pretty much lowest price point. We actually see it at the $37-ish mark too. So if we press Google, see what price we can get this at. Again, we got to make sure that we're getting the same numbers here. So this $17.99 one does not look like it's the same one. All right, looks like I found it at this place called KMS Tools. $17.99. It's at 30%. So this is another potential good lead that we just found through a storefront. And we didn't go that deep into this guy's storefront. There's still way more to go. We see that we've already found 3 leads, ungated, 30% ROI. It's possible just with SellerAmp. So if you want to sign up, you'll also be able to see the link in the description. I think I'll be able to give you a 14-day free trial through my link. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have more questions on SellerAmp, leave them in the comments. I'll be responding for a week, guaranteed. Even in the future, leave the comment no matter what, and I'll be there. All right, ciao.